In today's day and age, I would ask the person who asks this question how they can allow themselves to call billions of religious people weak and needy. You remember when Hillary Clinton called all the people that didn't agree with her a basket of deplorables? That's just not a question that we get away with asking these days. We just no longer get to call a whole group of people that might think differently from us weak and needy. But let's set that aside and actually address the question. There are two ways to answer this question, and I'm not going to bother with the first one. I'm just going to address the second one. The first one is to argue that religion must be true. And I can go through the whole litany of philosophical and logical arguments, and then you'd probably in your mind have all the counterpoints. So let me just talk about whether religious people are indeed weak and needy. And I'll do it in the context of a story. So Rabbi Herbert Weiner once asked the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Schneerson, the following question. I noticed, he said, that all your Hasidim, all your followers, your adherents, they always ask you before they make any move, before they buy a house, before they get married, they always check with you. They make you make all the difficult decisions. Isn't that weakness? Why do you allow that? So the Rebbe's response was, how can you say that my followers are weak when I send them to all the different places around the world and I charge them with living without a community and remaining with their integrity intact, their spiritual connection flourishing, and not only are they not compromised, but they create communities where they are? Is that a sign of weakness or is that a sign of strength? That's how I want to address this question. Are religious people really weak and needy who require a crutch? I'm not just talking about Jews. I'm talking about people, Islamic people, Muslim people who are persecuted for their faith in Christian countries. Christian people who are persecuted for their faith in Islamic countries. Jews who are persecuted for their faith in many non-Jewish countries. Are these people weak? Are these people needy? Surely they were raised, they were born into and raised in a strong framework of a religious family. But then they go elsewhere and they maintain their faith despite persecution, despite difficulties, despite being targeted. That's heroism. That's not weakness. That's not need. These are not people who need a crutch. These are people who are a crutch to others. I often think about the following rule of halachic law. If you see a duck and want to know whether it is healthy enough to be considered kosher, or perhaps has been injured to the point that it can no longer be considered kosher, then watch the way it swims. If it can swim upriver against the current, it's kosher. If you see a Jewish person who goes against the current, when everyone mocks him, calls him weak and needy, when everyone belittles his faith, when people persecute him and discriminate against him, and yet it doesn't shake him and he remains true to his principles, that's not a weak person. That is a kosher person. That's a hero in my book. Now, does a hero need a crutch? Absolutely not. So I turn the question around and I ask, why do powerfully strong and heroic people believe in God?
If you like that video, hit the subscribe button and notification bell below for hours of the best Jewish content online.